exclusive presentation of the LSU Sports Radio Network. LSU Fighting Tiger Baseball is on the air. This is exclusive live coverage of LSU Fighting Tiger Baseball in the 2023 Super Regional from the LSU Sports Radio Network.
The 0-2 pitch. Called strike three. Struck him out.
One step closer to the College World Series with an all-SEC battle between the Kentucky Wildcats and your Fighting Tigers of LSU for a trip to Omaha.
Winds and fires. Swing and a miss. Tigers advance to the Super Regionals.
Brought to you by the 7 partners that represent Team LSU. Cox, the official communications provider of LSU Athletics. McDonald's, official sponsor of the LSU Tigers. Our Lady of the Lake, official healthcare provider of LSU Athletics. Albertsons, the official grocery partner of LSU Athletics. Hancock Whitney, the official bank of the LSU Tigers. People's Health, the official health plan of LSU Athletics. And by Coca-Cola, official beverage partner of the LSU Tigers.
The 0-1 to Cruz. This one hammered to left center field. This time the park will not hold it. 2-run ball.
Super regional coverage of LSU Fighting Tiger Baseball comes alive on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Delivery. Hit in the air to center field. Going back is McDowell. And at the wall,
Yes. Go! Leading you up to first pitch, this is the Fighting Tiger on Deck Show. Now, from inside the broadcast booth, here are former Tigers Buzzy Heidel and Doug Thompson, along with the voice of your Fighting Tigers, Chris Blair.
Well, after a couple of earlier weather delays, we are hoping to get underway tonight without any stoppage as we try to get one more step closer to Omaha in the 2023 College World Series. It's a super regional weekend, and this one features 2 teams out of the Southeastern Conference as the Kentucky Wildcats travel down from the Bluegrass to take on your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Hello, everybody. This is Chris Blair along with Tiger champions Doug Thompson, Buzzy Heidel in the booth, along with our straw stirring the drink back in the Capital One studio. Mr. Jeff Palermo welcoming you to Skip Bertman Field inside Alec Box Stadium here on the campus of LSU for tonight's play-by-play story. Well, expected to start at 2 o'clock. That did not come today due to a weather delay. We were told we would start at 7:06. That did not come to fruition. Again, another weather delay. And dare I say, with an 8:06 scheduled first pitch to get this series underway, right now the clouds and the skies are as gray as we have seen all afternoon and evening long. But we will head right into it as the second meeting on the year for the Wildcats and Tigers, with LSU taking 2 of 3 back in mid-April. The Cats fought their way out of the Lexington Regional last week, while LSU went a perfect 3-0 in the Baton Rouge Regional to advance. Earlier today, LSU announced Paul Skeens would get the start, while Kentucky named Zach Lee as their starter here in Game 1 of the best of 3. The fans were ready for super action earlier today. We'll see how many return back tonight for a game under the lights. With a few extra hours to liquefy, should be a raucous atmosphere. So find your favorite chair, grab your favorite beverage. It's super regional play about to begin at the box. It's Kentucky, it's LSU, and it's coming up next on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Support your LSU Tigers with Hancock Whitney, the official bank of LSU Athletics.
From game day to the offseason, Hancock Whitney LSU credit and debit cards are a big win for any Tiger fan. Want to get your paws on these cards? Well, apply online or visit HancockWhitney.com/LSU. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC. All accounts subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Albertsons is making shopping and saving easier than ever. Just For You deals is now Albertsons For You. It's everything you love about Just For You with all new perks. Get rewarded for just being you, including personalized deals, a free item every month, and even a treat on your birthday. With Albertsons For You, you earn points every time you shop and redeem them for discounts on groceries and more. Brand new Albertsons For You members receive $5 off their next $25 or more purchase just for signing up. Download the Albertsons app or simply update your existing mobile app to see your all-new, all-awesome perks. Albertsons. Fresh foods, local flavors.
When you're done listening to the Tigers take another victory, the rest of the city will be waiting. After all, there's a lot more to Baton Rouge than just Saturday nights. From famous historic landmarks to iconic hole-in-the-walls, even some of the world's best blues joints, there's something special around every corner. But these foodie flavors and soulful sounds are just a sample of what Baton Rouge has to offer. Whatever you're into, it's all right here. Go to visitbatonrouge.com and start putting together your post-game playbook.
Super regional action from the box is coming up. But first, it's time to talk with Tigers on the Fighting Tiger on Deck Show from the LSU Sports Radio Network.
We're back here at Alec Buck Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. It's game one of the Super Regional, LSU versus Kentucky. Joined now by LSU DH and first baseman Cade Beloso. Cade, of course, a veteran of a lot of postseason games here at LSU. Cade, thanks for joining us prior to today's game. This is your third Super Regional as a Tiger. Just your thoughts on the excitement with knowing what's on the line throughout this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing truly like it, in our sport, and it's just like you said, super exciting. We're all excited about the opportunity that's presented in front of us, and we're looking forward to coming out here today and having a bunch of fun.
So last weekend, Cade, the 3 straight wins in the regional, you guys used the same lineup for all 3 days. It appears as if you may go that same direction today. Just your thoughts on how that consistency, that rhythm maybe helps the offense.
Everybody can kind of get in a groove with their spot, but, at the same time, we have so many good players on this team and, so many good hitters especially that, we could roll out a whole different 9 and you'd probably still get the same results. That just speaks measures to the coaching staff and, also, just the measures of people on our team. So, but like you said, you can get comfortable in your spot you're in,
So we've talked about this all year, and Coach Jay obviously has that every game's a playoff game, and you guys have all bought into that, of course. How important is it when this really is a big-time playoff game to have that mentality, same mentality you've had all year long?
Yeah, that's one great thing that Coach Jay says is every game's a playoff game. So when this time of the year rolls around, nothing's different, The same stuff that we're going to need to be successful today is the same stuff we were doing in January, in fall practice, stuff like that. So, early on in the season, so things like that. So no game is, bigger than the moment or whatever like that. So, we're just going to be where our feet are today and, just take it one pitch at a time.
Of course, you guys faced Kentucky about 2 months ago right here at the box, won 2 out of 3. The Wildcats present maybe some different challenges than a lot of other SEC teams. What most should you guys focus on when defending them?
We know they like to bunt and they like to steal bases and stuff like that. So, we got to communicate at a high level and, we have to play defense at a high level. And then that's what's going to be the keys to being successful this weekend for us. And, we did play them at the beginning of the year, but they're not the same team. They're playing really well right now. And, they're going to try to beat us and they give us their best bullet. So we got to be ready.
All right, Cade, greatly appreciate it. Good luck today in Game 1.
Thank you.
Cade Beloso with us. Tigers getting set for Game 1 of the Super Regional against the Kentucky Wildcats. A lot more to come after this on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
If you love them enough to turn off your music.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Music is your music.
All right, just go some scores.
Then surely you'll check
games that are playing today.
Florida has advanced.
The right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov.
So skiing stop throw.
Skiing stop throwing.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Starting to smell the rain.
Picture the SEC student athlete for their speed, their vertical, their agility. But it's time we picture them for more. For their campus voice, their community outreach, and for the simple fact that 20 years later, they're still someone's pride and joy. More than students, more than athletes. In the SEC, it just means more.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
LSU Fighting Tiger Baseball in Super Regional action from the box is on the way. Time now to check the Super Regional scoreboard on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Back here at the box, trying to get this game underway. Super Regional play, Game 1, Kentucky and LSU. And right now, again, game is set for an 8:06 first pitch. Although optimism starting to drop here as the sky is getting dark, wind is picked up, but we've got fingers crossed, legs crossed, eyes crossed that we will be able to get this underway without any stoppage. Let's check around the Super Regionals. Again, one team already punching their ticket to Omaha around the Super Regionals presented by Visit Baton Rouge. We're ready. Are you? Doug Thompson will tell you about it right now. Doug?
Yep, the Florida Gators are currently celebrating. They win Game 1 5-4. And they shut out the South Carolina Gamecocks today 4-0. The Gamecocks season comes to an end. Florida, the first team to punch their ticket to Omaha. Wake Forest took a one-game lead over Alabama with a 5-4 win earlier. Virginia knotted up that series at 1 apiece, defeating Duke earlier today by a score of 14-4. Indiana State is trying to stay alive. They're in the top of the third inning right now. They lead it over TCU 2-0. And Texas and Stanford. Stanford trying to punch their ticket. They lead 5-2. Excuse me, that's game 1 of that series. Stanford trying to take a one-game lead. They lead 5-2. Their home team over Texas. That game's in the bottom of the 8th inning. And then finally, there's a rain delay between Southern Miss and Tennessee and Hattiesburg. The Golden Eagles lead game 1 of that series 4-0 currently, but they've been delayed now for at least an hour.
So again, we hope we can get underway here for the first game with LSU and Kentucky. That's a look around the Super Regionals presented by Visit Baton Rouge. We're ready. Are you? We'll continue with more up next. Break down the starting pitchers for this first game between the Cats and Tigers. Doug and Buzzy will have that when we continue on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
When it comes to investing in your home's comfort, it's never just one thing. You want to make sure you get an air-conditioned system that's reliable, affordable, energy efficient, backed by a strong warranty, and is installed by a dealer you can trust. That's why people who insist on the best choose Trane. Plus, right now, Trane is offering special financing. So what's not to love? Visit TraneSouth.com to find a local Trane dealer today. It's hard to stop a train. Subject to credit approval. Ask for details.
Hey, Tiger fans 12 and younger, don't miss your chance to be a part of Mike's Kids Club, presented by Shell, the exclusive kids club of LSU Athletics. Join Mike's Kids Club for only $25. Get the official Mike's Kids Club t-shirt, free admission to select LSU athletic events, and much, much more. To learn about upcoming events and to join, please visit LSUMKC.com. The Mike's Kids Club, presented by Shell.
NIL is dominating the college sports scene, and LSU has positioned itself at the front of the pack. But to remain competitive and stay ahead of the rest, we need your support. Bayou Traditions is the official NIL collective of LSU Athletics. Join the tradition and become a member by signing up online at BayouTraditionsCollective.com. Members receive exclusive access to LSU student athletes that you can't get anywhere else. Help ensure LSU remains a leader in the NIL arena. Sign up today at BayouTraditionsCollective.com.
Before we get started in Super Regional play, time to break down the starting pitchers for the Wildcats and your Fighting Tigers. Once again, here are Buzzy and Doug on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to Alec Box Stadium Skip Bertman Field. We hope to start this game up here in about 21 minutes, but the weather continues to worsen as we wait for the first pitch. We'll talk about the two starting pitchers in today's game. For Kentucky, it's going to be the 6'4", 195-pound right-hander Zach Lee. Lee pitched against the Tigers in that opening series back in the beginning or middle of April, and he went an inning and a third, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. He came out of the bullpen. All 3 runs were earned. His last couple outings have been pretty good, especially one back on May 7th against South Carolina, where he went 6 2/3, had 7 hits, 2 runs allowed. He had 12 strikeouts, though, and no walks in that game. He'll have a much better slider this time out since the last time we've seen him. That pitch has improved greatly. He has 2 fastballs, one that cuts a little bit and one that sinks in to right-handed hitter, and his changeup will run in to those right-handed hitters. So you'll see a fastball darting away from the righty and a changeup darting in. He has pitched well lately, and of course he's going to go out there against a very formidable opponent in Paul Skeens.
Yeah, and Paul Skeens, what else can you say about the All-American? 11-2 on the year, a 1.90 ERA, making his 17th start of the year. 99 and a third innings pitched. Amazing, 179 strikeouts, only 17 walks. And Paul Skeens, the most important thing for him, guys, is he needs to be out there. We don't need a situation where what happened last week when Ty Floyd threw a few innings, the rain delay came in, and he was up to 60 or 70 pitches, and he was shot for the rest of the game. So Paul Skeens, look, you can't do anything about the weather. You know that we know that when he's out there, he needs throwing a lot of strikes, keeping the ball down in the zone. When he started against Kentucky earlier in the season, the numbers were a little misleading. Kentucky put up some runs against him, maybe one of the better offensive performances against Paul Skeens all year. Had the 4 runs in 6 innings, 1 walk. They did strike out 13 times, but if you remember, LSU scored a bunch of runs early in that game. They were up big. I think Skeens was probably just trying to get the ball over the plate, throwing a lot of strikes, and Kentucky took advantage of that. But going to be a scrappy team. Kentucky plays a good brand of baseball. They catch the baseball behind their pitchers. They work the pitching, the count, and they do a good job of putting a lot of pressure on the other team. So Paul Skeens is going to have his work cut out for him. We just need to get this game underway and him be out there the full 7-8 innings.
Yeah, and I think another big key, Buzzy, to Paul Skeens having some success against Kentucky, when they were here in Baton Rouge, they scored a bunch. They scored in more than 10 innings. And part of the reason for that is because they had that leadoff runner aboard a ton. If Paul Skeens can keep them off the base pass, especially with no outs, it'll behoove him to do that, because 4 players in this Kentucky lineup today with greater than 17 stolen bases on the year.
All right, again, for Kentucky, it'll be senior right-hander Zach Lee. And for LSU, it'll be America's ace, junior right-hander Paul Skeens. We'll continue with more, leading you up to first pitch, game 1 of the Super Regional here in Baton Rouge. Up next, we visit with head coach Jay Johnson after this on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Are you a homeowner looking to keep your home cool while saving money? Perhaps you're an HVAC contractor who wants to offer customers more efficient, more consistent home comfort. Luxair is the name to know for unmistakably efficient and reliable home cooling, and great business building programs for contractors too. Contact your Luxair dealer to find out more. Or if you're a contractor, visit solarsupplyluxair.com to learn about working with Luxair.
The LSU Tigers excel due to great preparation, talent, and execution. Those same principles are what make National Trench Safety the leader in the trench safety equipment industry. National Trench Safety is recognized across the country as the trench and traffic safety specialist, supporting the equipment rental and engineering needs for the refining, chemical, pipeline, power, transportation, and municipal market. Visit ntsafety.com today for more details. Remember, if it's in the trench, over the trench, or around the trench, National Trench Safety has you covered. Go Tigers!
Tigers are your team, and Super One Foods is your grocery store. They offer super low prices from the moment you walk in their door, starting with the hottest deals on their famous wall of values. You'll get super savings on fresh produce, meat cut fresh daily, and all of your favorite brands throughout the store. Shop Super One Foods online or in store for super low prices on game day and every day. Go Tigers and go Super One Foods. Hub International is Louisiana's premier employee benefits and commercial insurance brokerage. Hub can insure just about any risk that your business faces. Did you know Hub even insured the bonuses for our football coaches in 2022? Hub specializes in the construction, healthcare, real estate, and hospitality industries. Chances are you're probably already doing business with someone who does business with Hub. Turn to the agency that the Tigers, Saints, and Pelicans choose. Hub International. Visit them today at hubinternational.com.
This is the Fighting Tiger on Deck Show. Time now to visit with the top Tiger, head coach Jay Johnson. Presented by Hancock Whitney, official bank of LSU Athletics.
Coach, here we are, another step closer to Omaha Super Regionals. First off, your reflection on really what I thought was just a gutsy effort last weekend, battling the weather, battling good teams, and again, able to come out of the region.
Yeah, great performance by our team. Played with a lot of self-discipline, a lot of self-control. Enjoyed competing in that environment and withstood some adversity, as you said, some weather, some unique challenges, and played well, and we'll look to do a lot of the same this weekend.
I know one of the easy questions for me to ask is, Coach, you play Kentucky in a 3-game series for the second time this year. Any pros, any cons? Does it matter?
Well, they certainly play a unique style, so we've seen it up close and personal. They have a good identity of who they are. They play to that identity really well. So getting 3 games to see that definitely helped us prepare this week. With that being said, both teams are much different than they were 2 months ago.
Yeah, looking at them and watching, getting a chance to see some of their action in Lexington last week, there are some things that kind of stand out. Maybe a little more power, or they're finding some of that occasionally. And also, I think this pitching staff for Kentucky has certainly come on strong down the stretch.
Yeah, they have a group of pitchers, about 8 or 9, that all make a positive contribution. They don't ask them to do too much. Again, just like the hitters, they have a good identity of who they are and how to execute. We have to be really disciplined to force them into what we want them to do as opposed to let them do what they want.
I know going back to mid-April, you said to me the key, Chris, is keeping the leadoff man from getting on base. I know Paul Skeens will be electric, as he always is, but that's got to be key for him.
Huge all weekend. I mean, one of the things in that series, when we got the leadoff guy out, they did not score at all. And when they got him on, they did score. So it's like that kickoff return of special teams in football. You get that leadoff man on, it's like starting your possession at midfield. We don't want them to do that.
Coach, it's going to be an electric atmosphere here at the box. It's going to be exciting. Best of luck. Get after him.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Head Coach Jay Johnson, everybody. We'll take a timeout. We come back. We'll get you the starting lineups for both the Wildcats and your Tigers. It is game 1 of the Baton Rouge Super Regional coming your way on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
All right, Jeff, we're not starting at 8:06.
The passion, the tradition,
they don't
the
know
rivalries.
when.
SiriusXM is your destination for all things
we hit weather
sports,
delay
and
now.
We've got your school
we're
covered.
gonna,
On SEC Radio, there's complete coverage of every school in the
when we come back here, I'm just going to announce that, and we'll go to rain delay and just hold it until they tell us we're not playing.
Or on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now, as a college student,
and then
you
when
can
we come
stream
back,
your
we'll
first
just
3
do the
months of
lineups and go
SiriusXM
right
for
to first
$1.
pitch.
Fees and taxes apply. See offer details and subscribe now at SiriusXM.com/SEC Sports.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Action begins in just moments from the Baton Rouge Super Regional. With a look at starters for both Kentucky and LSU. Here again is Chris Blair on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Well, unfortunately, for the 3rd time today, I come bringing bad news, or at least not great news. We noticed while we were doing the pitching breakdowns that both starting pitchers who were throwing earlier were pulled from the bullpens. They were put back into the dugout, which was the first telltale sign and we've had no activity on the diamond for about 10 minutes. So after asking around, we are told we are in another weather delay. 8:06 was the expected start time. That now has been pushed back. I wish I had more news as to tell you when they would try to get this thing started, but nobody has that answer at the moment. So just an indefinite weather delay, similar to the one we saw at 7:06, the original second starting time for today's game. But just moments before coming out of that commercial break, we are told we will not be getting underway at 8:06. We are in a weather delay once again here at Alex Box Stadium at Baton Rouge. Unable to start just yet the Baton Rouge Super Regional. So we've done everything to get ready for the game. We're going to send it back to our network affiliates across the great state of Louisiana and beyond, and we'll bring it back as soon as we are ready for first pitch. We'll get you your starting lineups, and we'll get right to it once we get to action. Again, they are watching a cell, a pretty large cell, by the way, coming out of the northwest on a track towards Baton Rouge and towards New Orleans later. So we're kind of waiting on to see whether or not that will get here. Will it impact the game? Right now, there is no precipitation. The wind has picked up. The skies are awfully dark. But again, no rain at the moment. So they're still watching this cell. That pretty big line of storms at the moment making their way towards Baton Rouge, but again, have yet to arrive. But the story, and the only thing I can really tell you with any significant truth to it, is we will not start at 8:06 Central Time. So we will begin another holding pattern, as many fans here are and many all watching and listening across the country. But as soon as we get word, we'll come back, bring you back to the ballpark, and begin tonight's game. So again, another weather delay here in Baton Rouge. Now they've just announced it to the fans here at the box. You could hear the groan and the boos, as this has been a crowd that's been around here since about 1 o'clock, 12:30 earlier today, and they've come and gone and back again. And now again, we will just wait. So again, when we get word we are ready to play ball, we'll bring you back and have the action for you. Game one of the Super Regionals, Kentucky taking on LSU. More information when we know it. Again, you can follow at LSU Baseball on Twitter. You can follow at NCAA Baseball. You can follow the Tigers on Facebook. They will be updating a new start time once they receive it. We'll be back with you when we can on the LSU Sports Radio Network.